all the links between Hidden Road and big names in finance have been discussed back and forth. This is because we know that Hidden Road has been growing quickly since the purchase with Ripple. It's still clear to us that the link between Hidden Road and Ripple is more than just a purchase. It was a calculated move, and it does have to do with tokenization. One interesting thing about this is that we know for sure that XRP and XRPL will be important in this. How do we know that? It's really very easy. You can find the tokenization link on Ripple's homepage. If you click it, you will be taken to a page that explains how they are tokenizing on the XRP system. Big part of this puzzle with Hidden Road is XRP and the XRPL. But there are a few things I'd like to talk about before we get to the exciting parts of this deal. First, let's look at this post from Matthew Lynn Wise. Hidden Road joins the ICMA, which stands for the International Capital Market Association. The race is on to make the world's financial markets more digital. We do know that this is the case, though. We've been talking about all the links with tokenization all the way back to the SEC to make sure that, hey, guess what? As you may know, we really want to back tokenization. We pretty much know that this is going to be the next big thing. In the US, we know the market is opening up because big players like the SEC are behind it, but here are the new members of the ICMA in June 2025. Also, check out these names. First, we have the First Foreign Bank of Israel. Second place goes to Franklin Templeton. A lot of tokenizing has been going on. They've now made more than $800 million. 0 cents. Hidden Road comes next. Of course, there are a few more names, and Wells Fargo is one of them. There are big banks, big wealth management firms, and then Hidden Road. Very interesting. The ICMA FinTech Advisory Committee and other groups like it are here. These are the groups that work on FinTech, the Common Domain Model Steering Committee, the DLT Bonds Working Group, the Bond Data Taxonomy Working Group, the Electronic Trading Working Group, and the AI and Capital Markets Working Group. The FinTech listings are further down. It's kind of crazy to look at this. It looks like they also have an ICMA Distribute Ledger Technology Regulatory Directory. DLT, blockchain, and bond markets are at the bottom. It looks like this is telling us exactly where we're going. We know that DLT and blockchain will be able to work with almost every financial market. All the things that are bought and sold in these places will also be on chain when we really see that. This is how we get to trading 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. This is important to talk about because we know that Hidden Road became a partner of the DTCC on March 11th, 2018, 1 month before the deal with Ripple. The person in question was a new member of the Government Securities Division of FIX Netting System. Their name was Hidden Road Partners, CIV US LLC. As of Friday, March 14th, 2025, companies that use the following services from the Government Security Division of Fixed Income Clearing Corporation will no longer be able to do so. Once more, this is Hidden Road. Why is this important? Because the DTCC is moving on-chain in a big way. We got some big news from the DTCC not long ago, which I will now go over. But first, I'd like to talk about some things that happened behind the scenes at the DTCC. This is their full report for 2024, right? We could see how much money they made and other information, right? The crazy thing about this is that they talk a lot about tokenization in this whole breakdown. But if we go up here, we can see that the total value of the shares that were processed was $3.8 quadrillion. Also, check out how big this is getting. It was 2022, 2.5 quadrillion years ago. The year 2023 was 3 quadrillion. The year 2024 was 3.8 quadrillion. Just think about how this will look on chain, how quickly this will grow because of how quickly everything will settle down. There is a lot of money in the world right now. If $3.8 quadrillion are being moved and handled by a single name like the DTCC, we could also look down here. We might see a faster rate of settlement and confirmation. The ecosystem is also changing and digital goods are part of that. You can click this link, by the way, and it will tell you exactly what they're doing with digital assets. In a big way, they are also fully on board with tokenization. We've already talked about that for a while. We are also making progress in modernization here. But it's crazy because we don't have to guess if this place will get 10 times bigger or 100 times bigger. No, this is a name that moves $3.8 quadrillion every year. Okay? And this number keeps going up. They are using DLT and blockchain to fully update and improve their core system. And we already know that they work together with Hidden Road, which means that even Ripple could see it since Ripple recently bought Hidden Road. And on top of that, the DTCC just said that they are in charge of $100 trillion, 0 cents worth of assets. On June 18, their primary securities depository had more than $100 trillion, 0 cents in assets. Then we got this news as well. This is with the FICC. Come back with me. This is what we have. There is a new player in the netting system of the FIX Government Securities Division. The FIX GSD has processed a new daily record of $11 trillion, $800 billion, 0 cents, which is the highest amount a single day has ever seen. It happened on July 2nd. This was taken care of on June 30th. Very interesting. This is on top of the big news from the DTCC. As part of the great collateral experiment, we completed a crypto native derivatives trade in Tokyo that was backed by USDC, which is the digital equivalent of cash. It showed our secondary app lines, how they work together, how they are automated, and how ready our institutions are. I guess I don't have to tell you that USDC was recently made public on the XRP system. That's great to see. But I only brought this up because I know everyone will say, okay, we get it. They're using USDC. That means Ripple is no longer alive, right? This is just a test, though. But the fact is that they did this, it worked perfectly, and they paid for it with USDC. The only reason I brought this up was to show you that the DTC is now fully involved with crypto. This is a deal in crypto native derivative. That was also part of the statement from Finality, which worked with the DTCC to show how an on-chain settlement of central bank reserves can fully use the power of tokenized assets held by institutions. All of this was part of the DTCC Digital Launchpad. And now we have the official statement of the way to get people to use digital assets. The digital launchpad at the DTCC. This was done with, USDC. I would say that this could use pretty much any digital asset. It could use any safe coin, not just RLUSD. It's good to see a big player like the DTCC going on the blockchain, using crypto assets and talking about tokenization. This is something we've been talking about for years. It just goes to show that we're almost done with the idea that it's very early. All of a sudden, things are going to speed up very quickly. Something like this being launched by a player the size of the DTCC, you should pay full attention to it. We need to get back to Hidden Road, which is why I'm telling you all of this. Not long ago, at a news conference in Singapore, a big thank you to Paul Barron for this. The CEO of Hidden Road, Brad Garlinghouse, said that Ripple stablecoin, RLUSD, will be taken as collateral for all services. RLUSD is the first stablecoin that makes it easy to trade big amounts of virtual assets on traditional markets. And it's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. As we think about what's going on here, I want to quickly return to the DTCC. Okay, they used USDC. That's great. It's likely that RLUSD is the only stablecoin in this area that is designed to meet the needs of institutional investors. That is a very important thing to remember. Why? Because the DTCC is a big player in the game. In a way, even Finality is an establishment player. It's all institutional plays that these big names are making these changes. I'm not saying that RLUSD will be the only stablecoin that does well. I think we should look at ROUSD differently than USDC or most of the other stable coins in this area. ROUSD is not at all like other pairs. The best thing about this is that as XRP holders, we know we are affected by almost all of it because USDC can be settled and moved easily on the XRP record for these kinds of deals. The most crazy thing about this is that the DTCC has now made crypto native futures live Right now, they are running crypto native versions. We've talked about this since 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. It has become true today. Now, to add to what Brad Garthinghouse said at the press meeting in Singapore, we also got this. Senior Director of Engineering at Ripple talks about XRP ledger collateralized loans.